Class?
Yes.
Very good. Get ready to get a little bit uncomfortable, because I'm going to talk about some topics here first off that are very uncomfortable for most people. I'm going to tell you about a couple of historical events and people that are all linked in some way to this theorist, Sir Francis Galton. And I'm going to ask you to guess what the connection is. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection. You all heard of that? Okay. Intelligence, or IQ tests, seen as the most important measure of potential success for young people. You've seen that. Forced sterilization of undesirable people in Nazi Germany. You've heard of that, right? Eugenics. Does anyone know what that is? We're going to talk about it a little bit more as we go along. Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger. You know who she is? Yeah. Did you know, we talked about Nazi Germany, everybody says, yeah, we know about that. Did you know that we did the same type of forced sterilizations in the United States in the early 1900s of imbeciles, of shiftless people, mostly of blacks and Native Americans, and also women who were considered oversexed or too passionate. The person that's at the nexus of all these concepts and historical events and people is British author and self-styled, self-trained psychologist Sir Francis Galton. These are his years. This is when he lived. Let's make sure we're clear on one of the terms I talked about, and that's eugenics. Does anyone know what that means? Anybody? Eugenics? We've heard it. Yes. Is it negative or positive? Wait, is it bad or is it good? Bad. It's bad.
You're looking for...
But no one knows what it means.
It's like weeding out the
Selective breeding and weeding out the weak. You both hit on the two parts of eugenics, which this guy invented. This was one of his major contributions to humanity, was the invention of eugenics. What you hit on was positive eugenics, which you said was selective breeding, right? And negative eugenics, maybe I got it backwards. You said selective breeding, and you said negative eugenics, which is?
natural selection, weeding out the weak.
Weeding out the weak. So lean around, you could be in a trio with these two. Lean to your shoulder partner and tell each other what positive eugenics is and what negative eugenics is.
Selective breeding, weeding out negative.
All right, class?
Yes.
So, positive and negative eugenics, and these of course were applied to human beings, not to cattle and not to dogs and not to racehorses, but to human beings. Now let's get back to the story of Sir Francis Galton, and we're going to do a gesture or two here. As I said, he's 1822 to 1911. He was a cousin of, does anybody know? Charles Darwin, who was a scientist and observer, right? I didn't see anyone do the gesture. Charles Darwin was a scientist and an observer. Inspired by Charles Darwin's book, The Origin of Species, Galton began to study heredity. Oh, little baby, very good. And the variations in human ability that he observed in both children and adults. He theorized that success was due to superior traits. You know, people that were successful were superior to other people because of superior traits that they had inherited. That was his main belief. He coined the term eugenics, which we've already decided is bad, right? And promulgated and spoke about and wrote about the use of both positive and negative eugenics. Okay, he pushed that in papers and in interviews and in talks. He estimated that Africans were 2 notches below Anglos, okay? Basically in intelligence and ability, and that's what he said, that they were 2 notches below, which made them undesirables, fit for weeding out via his eugenics program. He did a lot of studies of twins. Twins, 2 people, twins that were just alike, and he also coined the term nature versus nurture. You've all heard that, I think, where he looked at twins to see what the differences between them were, what was developed by nature and by the environment, and what was developed by their genetic capability. And he also, the one good thing I found that he did do was he developed some statistical concepts that we still use today called correlation and regression to the mean. Other people used Galton's theories on ability to define mental ability and to justify the use of intelligence tests, which we've heard about a little bit. The Stanford Binet test is one of them. Binet we heard about earlier. To use that intelligence test as the sole identifier of a person's potential for success. So he was one of the people, his work was one of the people that really pushed that idea. So what I want you to do now is discuss with your partner this idea. Can we determine mental ability and predict future success in life on the basis of a standardized intelligence test? What do you think? So discuss it with each other and then tell me. Okay, back here, what you guys come up with?
No.
You don't think so? Why not? You had a reason, right?
Well, most tests are culturally
Okay.
biased, and intelligence doesn't determine life achievement. We have a lot of stupid people in very high positions with a lot of money.
Well put. What did you folks come up with?
We said no as well.
Said no? Why?
Yeah, because whatever the test is testing for is not necessarily all aspects of life. People look at differently. Because some people aren't book smart, they're really like street smart.
Yeah, they're
There's
maybe
different
more
aspects of
culturally or
being
socially
smart.
smart. What'd you come up with?
Similar, because
Similar?
tests couldn't be foolproof. There's still
Yeah.
be people who sneak through the cracks.
How about you, this trio here? What'd you come up with? Same kind of answer. Okay, very good. In conclusion, my take on Galton is that he made a few positive contributions, but he will really forever be remembered as the father of eugenics and as the father and founder of the eugenics movement, and which generated laws, as we talked about, in the United States, Canada, and Europe before Nazi Germany, that generated laws that called for forced sterilization of undesirables, of the feeble-minded, of imbeciles, people like that, and quite a few minorities. And he provided a lot of scientific support to that Hitler used and the Nazis used as they generated their theories and pushed their policies of eugenics and racial purity and things like that. Any questions? Oh, okay, thank you very much.